Imagine boarding a plane for the holiday you've been dreaming about since you retired, only to land back in Australia and discover Centrelink has quietly cut your pension. It sounds unfair, but it happens to thousands of Australian seniors every single year, and most of them had no idea the rules had changed. If you're planning any kind of trip overseas in 2026, whether it's 6 weeks visiting grandchildren in the Philippines or a permanent move back to your home country, what you're about to hear could save you thousands of dollars and protect the payment you've worked your whole life to earn. Welcome back to Aussie Benefit, the channel dedicated to helping Australian seniors understand exactly what they're entitled to and how to protect it. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button right now, because every week we break down the confusing rules around the age pension, Centrelink payments, and everything else affecting older Australians. In plain simple language, no jargon, no confusion. Today we're talking about something that catches so many pensioners off guard: how traveling overseas can affect your age pension in 2026. Whether you're going away for a short holiday, an extended stay with family, or thinking about retiring overseas permanently, the rules are different depending on how long you're gone, and getting them wrong can mean losing money you didn't expect to lose. So stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to do before you pack your bags. Let's start with the good news. If you're an Australian age pensioner and you head overseas for a relatively short trip, your basic pension generally keeps being paid. Centrelink doesn't cut you off the moment your plane takes off. But there's a catch point that trips up a lot of people, and that's the 6-week mark. Traditionally, if you stayed overseas for up to 6 weeks, your full pension and most of your supplements continued without any change. Go beyond that 6-week window, though, and certain extra payments on top of your base pension can be affected. The pension supplement, which helps cover everyday costs like your phone, internet, and energy bills, can drop down to a lower rate once you've been away more than 6 weeks, and your energy supplement can stop altogether. Your concession cards can also be paused while you're overseas, which matters if you rely on them for cheaper prescriptions or other discounts back home. Now here's something important that's changing in 2026, and it's actually a win for pensioners. The government has announced it will extend that 6-week window out to 12 weeks before your pension supplement is affected, with this change set to start from the 20th of September 2026. That means if your trip falls after that date, you'll have double the time overseas before those extra payments are impacted. After 12 weeks away under the new rules, your supplement stops. And if you're moving overseas permanently rather than just traveling, that supplement can stop immediately from the day you leave. So if you're planning a trip, it's worth checking exactly which side of that September date your travel falls on, because it could genuinely change how much you receive while you're away. Beyond the 6 or 12-week mark, there's another important threshold to know about, and that's 26 weeks, or roughly 6 months. If your stay overseas stretches past that point, the rules get more serious, and how much pension you receive starts depending heavily on your Australian residency history. Generally speaking, to keep receiving your full pension rate while living overseas long-term, you need to have built up around 35 years of what's called Australian working life residency, which basically means the years you spent as an Australian resident between age 16 and pension age. If you fall short of those 35 years, Centrelink calculates your payment on a reduced scale, so you might still get a pension while overseas, but it could be a smaller amount than what you were used to receiving back home. It's also worth knowing that some other payments simply aren't portable at all, meaning they stop the moment you leave Australia for good. So it really does pay to check your specific payment type before you commit to any long-term move. One thing seniors often get wrong is assuming Centrelink will just figure it out on their own. Yes, Australia's immigration system does share data with Centrelink, so they'll generally know when you've left the country and when you've come back. But relying on that alone is risky. You are still responsible for telling Centrelink about your travel plans yourself, updating your contact details, and letting them know how long you'll be away and why. If you don't, you could end up with an overpayment that Centrelink later asks you to pay back, which is the last thing anyone wants after an overseas trip. The easiest way to do this is through your Centrelink online account linked to MyGov, where you can update your travel details and even check in advance how a specific trip might affect your payments and concession cards. If you're not comfortable using the online system, you can call Centrelink directly, and there's a dedicated line specifically for older Australians dealing with age pension, Commonwealth Seniors Health Card, or pensioner concession card questions. There are also some exceptions worth knowing about if things don't go to plan. If you can't return to Australia because of something unexpected, like a serious illness or a natural disaster in the country you're visiting, there are provisions that may allow your payment to continue beyond what the normal rules would suggest. The safest move in that kind of situation is to contact Centrelink International Services directly and explain your circumstances, rather than assuming your payment will simply keep flowing. Every situation is a little different, and the earlier you reach out, the more likely you are to avoid a payment gap. So here's the bottom line if you're an Australian senior planning any kind of overseas travel in 2026. Trips under 6 weeks are generally safe, and your full pension continues. From September, that safe window extends out to 12 weeks. Beyond that, your supplements can be reduced or paused, and once you're looking at 6 months or more away, your residency history becomes the deciding factor in how much you'll actually receive. The real takeaway here is simple. Don't guess, don't assume, and don't wait until you're already overseas to figure this out. Update your details with Centrelink before you travel. Check your specific payment type, and if you're not sure how a long trip or a permanent move will affect you, get in touch with Centrelink International Services and ask directly. That's everything you need to know about how overseas travel can affect your age pension in 2026. If this video helped clear things up for you, do us a favor and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Aussie Benefit so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos breaking down exactly what you're entitled to as an Australian senior. Drop a comment below and let us know if you're planning any travel this year. We'd love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in the next video.